Hey guys, so here I am with the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7, and what I'd like to do in this video is give you my first impressions of using a flipping phone. A phone that flips from being small and chunky to, well, I guess you would say normal, more like that. So let's get to it. So this is the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7, 7th generation of flipping and folding phones from Samsung. I ordered this from Samsung.com a few weeks before it came out. I published an unboxing, I published a review of this case already, which is a really good case, but it does make it, thicker, chunkier, heavier, etc. But it is nice, it is giving it good protection. Now, a key thing to note here is that I bought this for £900, but I bought it for my wife. I'm still using the Honor Magic 7 Pro. And I have to point that out because I will be talking about the Flip 7, but this is not a review. You really do have to use a phone every day to know what you like and what you don't like, to get a better idea of battery life and different things like that. So don't consider this a review. The phone's been out a few weeks, so go and check out other reviews out there. I really just want to talk about the form factor of flipping phones. So here we have it, the Flip 7, the first phone that I've spent any time with that flips. Now, I have had a folding phone. I had the Fold 4 a few years ago, and that went from like normal phone to tablet. But this is really different. This is a small footprint. It really is small, and you can see that here. Just look how small it is in comparison. But the thing is, when you open it up, it's the opposite. This becomes very tall. And this is like 16 Pro Max size, so you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. You get something that's a little bit easier to put into your pocket, a little bit easier to carry around, but you still have a very practical display to use. Now, the elephant in the room, we're in the 7th generation, but there's been a lot of teething problems with flipping and folding phones over the years. The whole technology, the whole design of screens that flip over. And you can see the folding mechanism there. Now, in the first few generations, I would say that most people who bought these phones, they were paying way more than what they were worth. They were guinea pigs. There was a lot of problems. And, within a year, a lot of the crease in the middle was just becoming more prominent. A lot of people were sending it back for warranty. I had to send my Fold 4 back under warranty as well. But I think with every generation, it's getting better. There's less risk, and it's certainly not risky anymore. Well, there's some risk, but it's not like it was several years ago. Now, there is still a crease, and if I move the phone around, you can see that. But just like it was with my Fold phone, when you're actually facing it towards you, you can't see it. You cannot see that crease. It just is like it disappears. Now, another thing to note is that the first few generations of flipping phones, you had the inner screen, but the front display, the front screen here, it wasn't that usable. It was essentially a place to show the date and the time, maybe show you some notifications, but for the most part, you were opening that phone to use it. But it's a little bit different now. So if I unlock this now, in fact, I don't have to just do the camera, you can see that that whole area is usable. And that's quite amazing because that opens up a lot more features, a lot more ways to use the phone as well. Because previously it was just notifications, but now you can actually use this as a phone. Now, on that topic, you'll see here that we've got kind of big widgets, etc. And that's kind of what Samsung have always done with the Flip range. They've always offered you these big widgets. Kind of makes sense. You've got a smaller screen, so make things a little bit bigger, a little bit easier to use. You put your key apps there. But you can see here that I've got Chrome and WhatsApp and YouTube, etc. And you can use all of these, you can use this and you can type. You can see it's a full size, my typing is terrible. You can see it's a full size keyboard there. But for most things, you would probably open up to type, but you can use WhatsApp there, you can use YouTube there, etc. Now, with the Motorola phones, you can just drag Chrome and YouTube and just put it onto that front display. Now, I don't know why they've done this, but Samsung do it a little bit differently. For whatever reason, out of the box, you can add widgets, you can add the stopwatch and calendar, notifications. But if you want to drag Chrome and YouTube and Netflix, all your favorite apps onto that front screen, you have to download Good Lock. This is an app that's got lots of different tools and features, and then you install what you need. And in there is an app that allows you to add your favorite apps to the front screen. Now, okay, it's not a major problem. It really is a first world problem, but I just don't understand why key functionality like that is not just there in the operating system. Why do you have to download this separate app? A little bit confused, because in my opinion, most people who buy a flipping phone will probably want to put key apps like Netflix and YouTube and WhatsApp and the phone, etc. They want to drag that onto the front screen. So why is there an extra step? I don't know. I don't know. When the inner screen's open, it really does operate just like a normal phone. And, it really is just like a normal phone at this point. There's nothing, different. It's a Samsung phone. I think the interesting thing is that front screen. I think it is quite interesting that you can use it this way. I mean, you could play music and set your phone down like that. You could watch some YouTube videos without opening it up. But for me, the biggest thing about this is the ability to use that back camera. Now, there are some other quirks, but this isn't a quirk, but I'll point it out before I forget it. We've got the power button here. When it's opened up, the volume rocker is quite far away actually, but what kind of threw me a few times was that the power button was the first button, but when you flip it, the buttons flip, so the power button's now the second button. It's a little thing, but just something to bear in mind. Now, that camera system. I think the camera system is one of the greatest selling points of this form factor. With most of the Android phones that I've got, you've got this triple or quad camera system at the back. Wide, telephoto, 200 megapixels, 100 megapixels, etc. These amazing camera systems at the back that really do punch above its weight. And they always match these camera systems with Potato Cam, the camera at the front, which is awful. Now, to its credit, the Honor Magic 7 Pro has an okay selfie camera, but I have had a lot of Android phones, even expensive ones, that had these amazing camera systems, but the selfie camera was terrible, which is silly because so many of us take selfie pictures with our friends, with family, etc. It is important, and that's why this is good, because you do have a selfie camera in the middle, right? We've got a camera there, so you can see there's a camera there. It's not terrible, but I think for most people, if you want the best camera, the best photos, the best videos, consider this the camera to use for WhatsApp calls, Zoom calls, Teams calls, etc. because you can use the back camera. There we go. I'll turn it around. There we go. So that's the back camera, and that's how you're using it like a normal phone. You've got these two camera lenses here. And this isn't the best camera system in the world, but it's pretty respectable in my opinion. It's quite good. And the great thing about that is that you can use, open it up, you can use that front camera system or the back. See, I'm getting mixed up already. That's the main camera system. I'm so used to calling this the back camera system or the rear camera system. The main camera system here, you can use that as a selfie cam, and you can just use like the volume to take a photo like that. And that is a game changer. You don't have to worry about blurry selfie photos. You don't have to worry about selfie photos being terrible in low light and nighttime, etc. You've got your best camera system, and you can use it for, let's take another photo. You can use it for a selfie camera. You can use it for your main camera. My advice, or well, certainly how I would use it, I would always use this as the selfie camera and the main camera system. It really is like a cheat code, and it really is a great benefit of using this form factor, in my opinion. Now, to counter that, plus I'll give you a negative. This costs £900. You might have to pay $1,000 or so, and there's other flipping phones that are even more expensive. Now, it's worth noting that because this is a kind of like a flagship level price. It really is, towards that $1,000 line. But even though you're paying around $1,000 or whatever, £900, £1,000, you're not getting the best phone out there. And what I mean by that is you will not get the best camera system. You will not get the best battery life. You won't get the fastest charging speeds. certainly with Samsung, there's a lot of compromises here, and you're paying a premium not to get the best battery or to get the best camera. You're paying a premium to get that form factor, and that's just something you have to be aware of. You are paying more because your phone can flip, because it can flip up, and that is practical. Yes, it's fun, maybe a little bit gimmicky, but I think it's practical in many situations. But you are paying a premium. The downside to that is that you're not going to get the best camera system. Now, to put it into perspective, my Honor Magic 7 was about £700. It's got an amazing back camera system. It's got amazing battery life. It's got super fast charging. Spec for spec, this beats the Flip 7. But does that make it a better phone? It really, there's so many things to consider here. Specs don't always tell you the full story. A lot of it is about user experience. And again, I'm not using this as my main phone. I have been playing around with it. And from a user experience point of view, from a usability point of view, this phone is a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun. So I know a lot of you are like me. You've let all these new flip phones and fold phones come out over the last few years and you've never looked at them. But I would encourage you to give it a second look. Go into a shop, go into a phone shop, go into a tech shop, and just play around with the folding phones and the flip phones and see what you think about them. They're fun, a little bit gimmicky, but I think there's a lot of practical use cases for these as well. Specs don't always tell you the full story. So thanks for watching, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on flipping phones, the Flip 7, and just flipping phones in general. Please do leave a comment below. If you've enjoyed the video, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all the good stuff. And until next time, take care.